What's going on, everybody? My name is Johnny Garcia, and I run a marketing agency helping local businesses generate booked appointments and ultimately convert those into customers. I'm not gonna say the niche that I'm in because if I do, I already know what exactly is gonna happen. Everyone will start reaching out, asking me like, "What niche are you working with?" I don't want to get too much into that. If anything, I think that what I'm going to share with you guys today in this video is going to be more helpful than that. I'm going to give you some frameworks, some things that I did so that because eventually, just let me give you a backstory. Before the whole coronavirus took place around March, the first week of March, again, I'm based in New Jersey, and that's when we started feeling more of the effects in terms of like what the governor was doing, and also just, yeah, closing down businesses. And unfortunately, during that time, I actually got very, very sick. I believe I had the coronavirus. But anyways, long story short, that led to where I'm at right now, meaning I had to pivot what niche I was working in. I also had to start all over basically. Although I'm thankful that I did retain all my clients. I even had to take a pay cut for some, which is fine. But I know that once this blows over, we're gonna go back to normal. And yeah, like I said, I'm very thankful for having those clients sticking with us, believing in us, and giving us that opportunity to still work. So I wanted to just take that moment to restart. And what I want to do in this video is kind of share with you what I did when I pivoted. And when you pivot into a new industry, there's a lot of new things that you got to learn. When you're starting off as a marketing agency, there's a certain criteria that you need to fulfill before you even, make the next, or for you to move up the value ladder in terms of just your business in general. As you guys can see in the back, I have a whiteboard, and I'm basically just going to take you through that whiteboard and then briefly explain what I mean in each little section. So let me do that right now. All right, guys. So this is basically my whiteboard. I have ideas of what I want to do. You guys are more than welcome to take them. But really what I want to touch base is really on this side right here, which is setting the foundation. As a marketing agency owner, I think it's super important for you all to at least go through each section. So yeah, I'm going to do that right now. And there's no particular order. I actually just based it off of like what I did, right? When like I said, I pivoted into a new niche. I made it seem like I'm literally starting brand new. Like I have no idea. Well, I have a good amount of knowledge in what to do, but I started off with like what I would do if I were to start all over, which I basically kind of did because I did switch a niche. So I had to kind of relearn what offers, what their offers are, services, and really just figure out like like their average value order, the lifetime value of a customer, if it even makes sense for me to jump into this niche. So the first thing is really figuring out what your mission and vision is. What that means is business clarity. You want to have clarity on what you want to do in your business. What's the point? Why did you start it? And really just sit down and really figure out like what is the end goal when you're running a business. So the second thing is productivity. You want to start to learn to prioritize, have a schedule. Like for me, for example, I use an Excel spreadsheet and my calendar for productivity. And shout out to one of my mentors, Alex Slinsky, because I joined his program and he was able to share all this information with me. So yeah, productivity, again, you want to have a daily focus calendar or an Excel spreadsheet and then a calendar so that you know what exactly you need to accomplish the next day. At the end of the day, I'll write down 3 things that I need to get done tomorrow no matter what. And then on my calendar, it's set for me for tomorrow. And I know exactly what to do the following day instead of going back and forth trying to figure out what I need to do, because at the end of the day, that is not being productive. So that's that one. The third one is having the right tools to operate. When you're running a marketing agency, you really don't need much, which is why I love this industry so much, or just this space in general, because it gives you the opportunity to operate at a very low, at really, really low expenses. So just to give you some perspective, my profit margins right now with my agency is around 80%, 75-80%. So just think about that, okay? The only thing I'm really using, really is just softwares, right, to do the fulfillment. And I can go more into details on like what softwares that I use, but basically, I use Go High Level, which is a CRM that I use. 100% recommend that for any marketing agency owners out there who are doing lead gen, booked appointments for local businesses. So there's a bunch of tools. There's ClickFunnels, there's Calendly, obviously Facebook advertising platform is a tool, Slack, there's a bunch of them. And again, I'm gonna leave that for another video. The fourth thing is doing niche research and selection. Again, I have an SOP for that. And long story short, what you need to first really realize is like, what industry can you actually help them generate more leads, booked appointments, and ultimately more customers. Like for example, I work with an e-commerce client and I also work with local businesses. There's different strategies, different tactics in order to deliver the results, right? So in this case, do you want to work with e-commerce? Do you want to work with local businesses? So you got to figure out what niche you want to go into, but also the lifetime value of their customers, right? If you're working with a niche that their lifetime value of a customer is $100 or whatever, $500 a month, a year, that's pretty low. Just to give you an example, is a restaurant, right? The average order of a ticket, right, for or for the bill for a customer is, and again, depending on the type of restaurant you're working with, but on average is about $30, $40, maybe even $50, right? And you're charging $1,500, right, for your services, or $1,000. Like, just do the math on how much you need to do in order to prove that what you're doing is going to bring them back revenue. And the break even is just it just doesn't make sense, right? So again, it's just about figuring out what the lifetime value of a customer is to that business. That's one. Another is just doing more research on the business in terms of like, what services do they offer? Any case studies that other marketing agencies have run. Because if there's other people working in that same niche, I'd rather work with someone that's in that niche or I'd rather work in a niche that's somewhat saturated, because that proves that there's a market for it, rather than a niche that has no market, no competition. Then it's just there's just a lot of ifs, and it could be risky, because why aren't other marketing agencies reaching out to them? So that's another one. So again, I have all SOPs for this. Again, guys, if you guys want that, just let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth one is having a customer avatar. It kind of goes hand in hand with what Russell Brunson always talks about, right? Which is the Dream 100. Who is your ideal customer, right? The seventh step is having an irresistible offer. So again, creating an offer is very different than having a product. And I take that from Steve Larson, because I follow him, I watch some of his content, and I like the way he positions it, right? A product, for example, is ClickFunnels. For those of you that know, it's a software. That's a product. What Russell Brunson and the ClickFunnels team were able to do is create an offer around that product. Long story short, an irresistible offer. You want to make sure that you have an offer, something that's going to make your client say, I need to try that, I want that. Like, for example, I had a client, right? Or no, I had there was this, literally before the coronavirus took place, I reached out to a dealership. Again, this is the niche that I was in before. And I reached out to him, and again, these dealerships don't play. Like, these guys, like, they literally, like, they've heard everything, so they want to be super straightforward with everything. So I called him, I told him, hey, like, this is what I do. So I kind of gave him like a short demo, like a sneak peek of what I would do over the phone, which I wouldn't recommend anyways. But he started asking me some questions, and I'm like, okay, I already have my computer in front of me. I'm just gonna do a quick audit of his Facebook ads, because he was doing some advertising. So I basically, literally on the phone, I was like, hey, you're doing this, and you're telling me that's not working. What I would suggest is do this instead, and that's what we take care of. The end of the call, he's booked an appointment for a demo. And then bang, we got hit with the coronavirus, and basically told me that he wanted to try. He's like, I want to do it at least for 3 months. What you're offering sounds really good, and yeah. But unfortunately, this whole coronavirus thing took place, and he just wants to wait more time. And so, why do I have this white stuff here? I think that was my nephew when I was carrying him. But yeah. Anyways, let's go back to this. The next thing is having a product summary. Basically, is A product summary is like an inventory list for your agency. You want to have certain things that like some products that you want to offer instead of just your irresistible offer. So for example, a lead magnet, a tripwire, what a lot of people like to call, could be something like an implementation call, right? It could be like your actual so like it's basically, think of it as the product summary as your value ladder as an agency, right? There's done for you, done with you, and there's do it yourself. The next thing is having a business process map, and I cannot like express how important this is, because once you have all this information, the next thing is to really figure out what your business looks like, what your agency looks like from top to bottom, from prospecting to sales to fulfillment, right? Those are the three main pillars: prospecting, sales, and fulfillment. And that's not just for a marketing agency, that's for any business in general. You have to have leads, you have to have sales, you have to have fulfillment. So again, having a business process map, right? How does my prospecting looks like? What channels am I using? What happens after I reach out to these prospects when they reply yes or they reply no? Like where do you put them in your CRM, in your system? What happens when they say, okay, yes, let's book an appointment, right? This happens and this happens and this happens. And you have to have that, because that provides so much clarity, and it kind of brings perspective, right? And also, if you're so ingrained into the day-to-day, right? Like, for example, I know that I get so into the day-to-day when it comes to fulfillment that I forget what I need to do. So it's a good idea of just having that business process map, going back to it, and then just making sure that you're doing the things that are moving the business forward. And then the last thing that I have written here is the lead magnet. Obviously, I can go on forever, but I think a lead magnet is super a good way of getting into the door with your niche. Some others like to call it a prospecting offer, which I think it's a good way of positioning it. So yes, have a prospecting offer, meaning when you reach out to these leads, you want to have an offer. What is the offer that you're giving them? A free marketing plan, a free ebook, a free consultation, whatever the case maybe you always want to have a prospecting offer. Basically, this is what I did when I started all over. Again, when I mean starting all over, starting again, I mean pivoting into a new niche that I have no idea about, and then literally doing research, reading case studies, YouTube videos. Those case studies are super important, because they give you so much. They have the content out there. You're just literally learning from them, and then adding your own twist to it, and then finding your niche's pain points, their challenges, what they're looking for. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, it's out there. Just go look for it, find it, and that's what I did in the niche research selection. Again, I have an SOP for that. If you guys want that, let me know. And yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it. I have nothing else for you guys. I know my whiteboard is full, and I want to leave those for different videos, opportunities, or other videos that I want to do. But yeah, I hope you guys found this video valuable, and you guys at least took something from it, even if that just means coming up with your mission and vision, or the prospecting offer, the last thing that I talked about. Yeah. Once again, my name is Johnny. I run a marketing agency here based in New Jersey, but I work with local businesses around the United States. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this, if it's going to be on YouTube or if it's going to be Instagram. Probably most likely like 99% is going to go on YouTube and my Facebook. But anyways, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.